and cursed properties. Now, this topic is a little different from the haunted ones. Okay, we are talking about not just supernatural, but we are talking about supernatural elements or supernatural entities which are residing at a particular place, whether that is your house or whether it's your office, your commercial units, or your land areas, or any kind of property. These can be your old havelis. These can be your ancestors' houses, very old ancestors' houses, maybe 100 years ago, or maybe 50 years old, or 20-25 years old, like in previous generations used to stay there, and now it is completely empty. Why? Because some mishappening has happened there, and it has been cursed by a human while dying, or maybe even some sort of a, I would say, tragedy happened there which made it a cursed property or a place or a unit, whatever you may call it. So this is the theme of today's topic. So do not get confused by thinking that we are talking only about the haunted places here. No, we are talking about supernatural cursed properties here. Now that can be anything. Okay. Now we have come across cases in the past where in the villages especially, I'm talking about the villages especially, where now of course they have become cities, but when they were villages, from that time, these havelis or big bungalows or big houses, consisting of 15 to 20 rooms also, those are called havelis. So these kind of places have become cursed with time. So I'll come up with a story that came to us in a form of a case. So this was a family of the royals, and very rich people and good in monetary terms. But one thing they were facing tremendously, and that was that their ancestors' haveli was cursed, and every time any marriage used to happen in their house, especially of a man, of a guy, that curse used to get activated in a very high degree motion, and they used to make sure, this curse used to make sure that some mishappening happens in the marriage. So suddenly maybe the groom will fall sick, or sometimes a marriage prospect will come but it will not turn into a marriage. So whenever there used to be a talk of marriage in the house, especially of the men, such things used to start happening. Or maybe after marriage, few of them also fell sick and had accidents also. So few of them also had some repercussions when their wife got pregnant. During the pregnancy, they had miscarriages, and this was all related to something being in that haveli, where in fact they were not staying there. They had actually emptied that place. But it was such a curse that whoever in this house gets married, who are men, this force, this evil force, or this cursed force or energy which is there, will directly affect that particular moment in that house or on those people that time. Okay, so things like this do exist. That's what I'm saying, cursed properties. It's not necessary that you have to stay in those properties. Maybe you're not staying in that house or that office or whatever it is, but that does not mean that it will not carry the effect forward. Alright, that is my idea here that I'm trying to convey. So then in this story, further carrying this on further, what happened was, and when the case study was done, it was revealed that there was a well in that haveli, through which you of course take out water. In the ancient times you used to, and many females had committed suicide due to the domestic violence of the men of those houses, their ancestors I'm talking about. And they were so much fed up, these females, that they thought of committing suicide. And then because the way they were tortured and the way they were mistreated, okay, there was a lot of hatred and a form of revenge in them. And when they committed suicide, they had that, you know, incomplete thing in them and that pain inside their hearts and soul that, you know, this is something that happened with us and these men of the houses did it. And they made sure that, you know, whenever their marriage happens, we will make sure that nothing smooth happens in this family or this next generation. So at least there were 4 to 5 females of different generation who had committed suicide there. Okay, and then of course the remarriage happened and all of that happened. So the basic idea that I want to tell you is that whenever there is a curse involved in any of the properties, mostly the blunder or the mistake has happened from someone who has now become your ancestor, who have become your pitra maybe, and that is the reason that you are dealing with those things even today, in today's time. Maybe you have not done anything, but maybe your ancestors or your previous generation people have done some sort of a torturous activity or an injustice activity through which this turned out into a curse, and it makes sure that, you know, this property is not free from any sort of, you know, negative things or positive things included. Alright, so if you're facing anything like this, if there is some sort of a story in your house or in your life which is getting related with what I'm talking about, then of course you can get your case study done, which of course is a paid service. It's not free of cost. And get the diagnosis done and get to know whether something like this is existing, and if it is existing, in which form it is existing, what kind of stuff is being there which is cursed, or what is that thing which is making it a cursed property or a cursed environment. Okay, so that's about it. I'll see you next week with another topic. Till then, goodbye.